We thought it would be helpful if you saw an example of an actual proposal that was put forth. And this proposal is specific to the property that you will be designing your model around. So it's actually the Oddfellows property, and you'll see the physical address here, how many acres, it's 164 acres. And then the actual zoning right now, and it looks like it's zoned for suburban residential, single family residential, non-retail business, and then planned neighborhood business. So they have actually broken that piece of land in this proposal. They have actually broken that piece of land into specific sections or areas. And you'll see here that the proposal, and it even says applicant's proposal, is the applicant is proposing to rezone 164 acres, which we will be going out to see, of the Oddfellows property. And as you have already been told, there are 4 historic buildings that are on the site that will need to be designed around. And then there's also a business that is already on the property that will also remain. So here in their proposal, they are proposing a mix of housing choices that would include single-family homes, triplexes, and apartments, along with retail and recreation space. So they have taken the land, and like I said, they have broken it into different parts. Okay, Section 1, this is the business that already exists, and it's a winery. Section 2, they want continuing care retirement facility. So they are proposing that 16 acres of the land be a facility for retirees. The Section 3 of the land, retail mixed use. So this would be anything applying to retail space, such as like coffee shops or clothing stores or things like that that are going to sell some type of material. Section 4, they are proposing apartment buildings. Section 5, triplexes, and they're proposing that a children's playground be a part of the triplex. And then the last section would be single family homes. So this would be homes that sit separately, side by side, but they would not be joined to another structure. They have also taken into account the infrastructure, so what needs to happen with the streets, the sewer lines, the water lines, the stormwater that needs to be planned around. They're also including actual specific images. So here is an image, and then they have defined the different sections of the property that they're proposing with different colors. Down here at the bottom, they have outlined the vicinity map. So you've seen this on Google Earth, but here are the buildings that already exist and the buildings that will remain. Here are the roads or the drives that have already been built into the property, but you would be responsible for whatever you plan with your neighborhood, what needs to be included here with this area of the property. And then what would you propose with the buildings, the historic buildings that remain? What should happen with those buildings? Now, demolition is not a choice because they are historic sites, so they would have to be implemented in some way into your plan. Okay, here is a more finite approach. So like I said, they have different subsets of their plan. So section 6 was the individual housing, more housing here. Then they had apartments in one area, they had triplexes in an area, and then a continuing care facility. And down here they have that outline. So number 1 is where the building that houses the business is already there is. Section 2 is the continuing care facility or what they're proposing. And then section 3 is any retail. Section 4, 2-story apartments. Section 5, residential triplexes, and then section 6, which looks to be our biggest part, they would recommend single family homes. Okay, they have also included some specifics of what the buildings, which you are going to be responsible for including this in your design, but they have included specifics like what do they want the continued care facility to look like? What are they proposing the retail center that's here? Are they proposing the retail center would look like? What are they proposing that the triplexes are going to look like? Okay, and then they have outlined specific things that need to be included when making a official plan. As you see, Catherine Sharp's name is mentioned throughout this proposal, and Ms. Sharp will actually be one of the expert guest speakers that you will get the opportunity to hear from and speak with. So I think that's important that you know who this plan is proposed to. So she's responsible for connecting all the dots there when it comes to looking at the plans, making sure the plans fit within the zoning and planning expectations. So we want you to kind of use this in the back of your mind. Obviously, we don't want you to copy what they have set forth here, but I think it's important. I'm just trying to scroll back to the top so you can see that. I think it's important that you understand who is looking at this and kind of what their thought process was behind the plan that they had put forth. So hopefully you can use this as another resource when moving forward with your neighborhood design. You also will have access to this. It's linked here in this writing proposals presentation, so you can look back at it. Some of the images may be helpful. The Google Earth images, the zoning images, they may be helpful also with your neighborhood design.